are building our own sheet metal bender, like we said before. Willem's cut all the pieces up. Willem, do you want to explain what you're doing?
Yeah, well, all the pieces are cut. Then there's footings. We're going to weld these pipes onto the footings, and then this is going to be the bender's base. So we're going to cut up another I-beam for the top bit that we're going to use to bend the sheet metal with.
You've just tightened it.
I have.
So we've made these levers on the side here, which turns and pushes this one down, which is obviously the top bender. It's spring loaded at the back, so it pulls quite tight. If you loosen this up, it all lifts up because of the springs. Tightening her up. Willem's put
Test number 2.
Test number 2. The first one went well, but we put in stainless steel, which is a bit harder. Now we've got in a checker plate aluminium.
So after a few more cuts and a few more modifications, she's not doing too bad. Got the first 2 corners bent up. Now just for the third one there. Safety thongs. Alright, got that corner lined up there now. And just going to give it a bend. Nice and square. That'll do. Yeah. Not bad. Done the 3 corners, and I'll show you how this all works. Then the last corner, what I do is I'll just hold it down, put those points in there, and give it a turn just to get it down low nicely. The same on this side. Strap it down, get it down low nicely, square it up. Square up the sheet. Now time for a bend. Grab it here, pull that tight, and alright. Yeah, we'll soft hammer. So bad for the first door. Okay. Very good.
We're going to show you guys, Willem's going to explain how he built it, how he had to change stuff, and then we'll show you a video of how he actually bent our first door.
Start from the bottom. Just a couple of old I-beams that he had laying around. They're nice and solid footings. So I guess you can use anything there. You want a nice spread because you're obviously going to be pulling on this quite heavily. Next, these are just sort of posts as well that we used, old posts that we had. So everything we have here is
A few things we bought.
Yeah, a few things like these springs, the springs, the hinges, and all the movable parts we didn't really have, so we bought them. But everything else is locally sourced out of the backyard. Well, our backyard anyway. So
Dad's backyard.
yeah, Dad's backyard. Yeah, so welded those legs in. Another I-beam there for solid structure, nice, sturdy, flat, strong enough to
heavy.
Heavy, strong enough to take the weight that I'm going to be putting on it if I'm bending it. Next, we've welded on these guys. These are here just for support for when we put the metal back on. You can do anything here for support. All I did is just a quick fix there with a sheet there, and yeah, that just pops on top of there. So
When you're bending it.
yeah. But yeah. Next, I guess we'll start talking about the arms here. My father-in-law had some other older projects that he could utilize these arms from, and that's just to hold the metal down. Welded up these structures here for the we purchased these because we wanted the top bit of the bender to move away from the material so you can take it in and out. After you've bent up all four corners, you're going to struggle to get it out. So in order to make this half a I-beam sort of a bit lighter on the body, installed these springs here at the back. Then again, another item we purchased is these struts here, and they're just to hold the I-beam down in order,
Tighten them down.
tighten them down so you can secure the sheet metal or anything that you're bending so it doesn't move when you're pushing against it. Come here to the top part now before we go to the most difficult part that we sort of had. Cut up half an I-beam for this one.
Welded.
Look at that there. We welded on a solid piece there. I cut it up later on for my sizing for the sheet metal. Now, when you look at a normal bender, they have these replacement parts, all different sizes, so they can make up their sizes for what they needed to bend. But for us, welded on that square there, and just grinded out the sizing that I needed for now. So yeah, sharpened it up obviously, so we can have a nice edge on there, so the bender can just cut into that and bend it at a nice right angle. Welded on these bits here. That's just to go onto the support arm, so you can hold it down, strap it down. Yeah, and then we'll get to this one. As you've obviously already seen or will see in the video, we had a couple of issues with previous hinges that we put on. So you can see the old holes there. Put some hinges on there, and they were just a little bit too small. So when we had a bend, I obviously bended the hinges and not the metal. So we've got some other hinges. They again was too small. So we had to come back to this final piece you see here is very industrial gate hinges. Seem to have worked better, but because of all the modifications we had to sort of shorten it a bit. Not ideal, but she works now, so it's not bad. Arm bed here is obviously down low because you got your pulling power, and then once it comes up high, you can push. When it gets really tight, you need that power there. So
It's just some piping from fencing.
yeah, some piping fencing that my father-in-law had laying around. Okay, let's try again. I bought this 2mm. It was a bit too thin. When we went to weld it, it's gone straight through and burned straight through. So I got a good friend of mine. It's a Chris Lankeys. He's got me these 3mm. And yeah, we'll give them a go. So we're gonna grind up the size that we want today and give it a bend from the old bender, and hopefully my mate Chris Mankies can help me out again with welding them up. So yeah. Okay, yeah, so after I got the sizes that I really wanted, it was time to bend the 3mm. And as you can see there, the 3mm is quite thicker than the 2mm was. And it gave a bit of a problem and a bit of a struggle there. So I'm trying to explain the little wing bits that I put on to strengthen the top bar there, because as you can see, when I push that up, it bends that quite significantly. And I was hoping that those little winglets there was going to strengthen it a bit more, but it did not. There was a lot of frustration, and I'll bring out the hammer soon, give it a bit of a whack. Here's a good demonstration on the bend of the flex of the top bar there. As you can see, I just push it out of the way. And then to make the bends a bit easier, you can see I strapped on a piece of metal there and just scored along the line there to make it a bit thinner and a bit easier.
So Willem's just called me up. He said he was done, and I didn't really believe him.
What do you reckon? How do they look?
Wow. You got the fridge door.
That's the fridge door for the back door, yep.
Yeah.
It just needs welding up, both of them. And yeah, that's the passenger side door where the kitchen's going to be.
It's a little bit bent because
Yeah.
our canopy is built that way, hey?
So next stop, welding them up.
And then we can actually close up the canopy.
That's right.
Yay! Goodbye to that old bender.
It's served as well.
Yeah.
It's still working.
Yeah. Awesome.